UFOs. Not many people expect them to be found beyond the West, because of how prolific it is in the mainstream media, TV, and comics. It's become a part of Western culture. Yet, in the Middle East, interest and information on them is scarce. Some people think it's Israel conducting top-level experiments across the Middle East. Others speculate that it could be their own government scaring people to keep them in line. But a select few think it's the nefarious Jinns, who hide in a network of caves and canyons across the Middle East in the deepest depths of the desert, playing silly tricks on human beings. Whatever the case, here are some cases of UFOs in the land of the Arabs. Before we get started, guys, it would be much appreciated if you could subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more videos like this. Thanks. Okay, so the first incident isn't in the land of the Arabs, more like the Persians, but it still falls within the same region. Anyways, the incident occurred on September 19, 1976, in Tehran, Iran, and involved multiple witnesses, including military personnel and radar operators. According to reports, at around 2 a.m., a large disc-shaped object was spotted hovering over a military base near Tehran. The object reportedly had a diameter of about 150 meters and emitted a bright, pulsating light. The Iranian military then scrambled their fighter jets to intercept the UFO, but it quickly outmaneuvered them and disappeared into the night sky. The object was tracked by radar operators at Mehrabad International Airport and was also observed by the air traffic control tower. The radar operators reported that the object was moving at incredible speed and was able to make sudden turns and maneuvers that no known aircraft could perform. The incident was investigated by the Iranian Air Force, which concluded that the object was not a weather balloon, helicopter, or any known aircraft. They were puzzled by the sudden and drastic changes in speed and altitude, and the sudden disappearance of the object from their radar screen. In addition to the military witnesses, several civilians also reported seeing the object, including an Iranian Airlines pilot who was flying in the area at the time. The pilot reported that the object was a large, disc-shaped craft with a bright, pulsating light. The incident received international attention and was reported by several major news outlets, including the New York Times. The Iranian government officially acknowledged the incident and stated that they were unable to identify the object. There were many speculations into what it could be: Jinn, aliens, or high-level military experiments. But no one really knows for sure. In the 70s, Aish had the largest oil field in Kuwait. It also had a nearby radar grid monitoring traffic going in and out of the oil field. One day, power went out of the oil field, and a team of engineers rushed towards the machinery in the field to find out what happened. These engineers were mainly of Kuwaiti nationality, but they were led by an American engineer who was the head of the team. So to find out what happened, they drove their cars towards the structures. However, they couldn't get very far as the car shut off as soon as it entered the oil field. Upon reaching, the engineers speculated that they were within an electromagnetic field which rendered their transport and other machinery, including the oil pumps in the area, useless. Unable to get the car running, they decided to further venture into the oil field, on foot, and possibly find the source of the EMF. They believed that it could be deeper in the oil field, and lo and behold, they found it, an object that was very bright. It looked like a cylinder, hovering above the ground. At this moment, the engineers were very shocked at the sight they were seeing, and some even tried to call the police using their communication devices. However, due to the electromagnetic field, their communication devices weren't working as well. Upon closer look, the engineers found that though it was hovering above ground, the UFO produced no sound. The object just stood there for the engineers to see and behold for an approximate of 7 minutes. Then it began shaking, whilst producing no sound, and just took off into the sky at an astonishingly fast rate. After this bizarre incident, another bizarre incident occurred. The oil pumps in the field were suddenly set ablaze in a major fire, and the fire took 2 weeks to put down. No one knows how they were set ablaze, but many people speculate that it was to do with the UFO incident. After this went public, the government appointed a committee of scientists, aviation officers, and civil servants from their own country to head an investigation as to what happened. The only piece of evidence left from this event to show what happened were declassified documents that were sent to the U.S. Embassy at the time. In those declassified documents, the members, first of all, ruled out any suspicion of this being an act of espionage done by another member country. Secondly, they confirmed themselves that they don't know or have no idea what this aircraft is or where it came from. In fact, within the declassified cabal, they stated themselves that they don't have enough knowledge to say it wasn't a spacecraft with absolute certainty, hinting that there could be a possibility that this could be a spacecraft. Apart from this, there isn't anything else the committee has said that was important. All they said whilst finishing off their conversation was that Kuwait needed to strengthen its air force to avoid something like this happening again. This UFO sighting was much more recent because it was during the war on Iraq. On 19th March 2003, strange lights were witnessed at Kirkuk, one of the cities in Iraq, and it was witnessed both by civilians and paramilitary forces. Many witnesses came forward and said they witnessed flying objects on this day. Others have said that it was flaming debris or debris from a plane. But this was quickly debunked, as 19th of March was the day when the U.S. invaded Iraq, so it could have been just the U.S. Army. However, another incident happened not too far off on the 23rd of March 2003, a few days after the invasion. This was on live TV aired by the BBC. A BBC journalist was on ground in Iraq, giving an update to the war, when all of a sudden a triangular UFO was filmed by the camera in the sky. The camera could only catch a few seconds of this object before it disappeared into oblivion. There was no evidence produced by anyone saying that this was a cargo plane or even a fighter jet, and any subsequent follow-up into this didn't happen. From this point onwards, the next few days saw a lot of UFO sightings. On the 28th of March, a UFO was seen over Baghdad by civilians and U.S. troops. Another one was on the 3rd of April. A photographer, taking shots of the war, took a photo of a UFO flying over Baghdad. However, no one knows where that photo went. And finally, on 6th of April, some people took a video of 5 cylindrical objects flying over the Tigris River. And this video was televised live on Fox News. From that point onwards, both military insiders and civilians have pointed out that UFOs were a common occurrence in Iraq during the war. Numerous soldiers have come out and said they have witnessed strange objects or have come across what they would describe as a spacecraft. But the main issue isn't the sightings. The main issue is, why are we seeing them? And who are they? Who are they? Isn't that the million-dollar question? To answer that question as best as possible. And mind you, it may not be the exact answer you're looking for. I need to explain to you the 2 schools of thought that exist in the Middle East, which tries its best to answer the question of who are they. Those schools of thoughts are sometimes called aliens and jinns. Let's have a look at the Jinn school first. In the Middle East and elsewhere in the Muslim world, unlike the West, they believe in a special interdimensional entity called the Jinn. Some would even go as far as to say they are a higher evolved species than us. It is said that they can travel into our realm, but we cannot. And the simple reason for that is the biologies of our species are very different. We are made from the earth, whereas they are from fire and air. Some sources, such as Tabari, have said they are made from samum, which is described as a type of scorching hot desert wind. If they are made out of fire and wind, then they are formless. They do not have a physicality to them. You cannot touch them, but you can only feel them. As our realm is a physical realm, they are able to travel in and out of our realm, and are able to formulate physicality and become tangible, become something that we can touch. It would be logical to think these entities would be able to quickly hide faster than the human eye can see, because all they have to do is go back to their original form. It's not just that. Once they are formless, they are able to travel at great speeds. There is a story in the Quran of an Ifrit, a powerful jinn who had offered to bring Queen Sheba's throne to Solomon in a blink of an eye. So it is not far-fetched to theorize. Notice how I said theorize, because yes, this is still a theory, that these could be jinns playing tricks on human beings, simply because they have the power to do so. But that leads to many other questions, such as, why are they sitting inside spaceships? Or why are they appearing and disappearing all of a sudden? Of course, all of these questions are valid and right questions to ask, but that's a question of motive rather than a question of possibility, which is what I'm answering. Okay, so now that jinns are done, let's look into why it could also be aliens. When we talk about aliens, we talk about a race of creatures that have technology far superior than our own, that live outside in space. Why some people prefer to think it's aliens over jinns is because of science, space exploration, and NASA. To put it simply, there has been more scientific research done to explore the possibility of the existence of aliens compared to the jinns. Though we do have extremely little information on creatures existing on other planets, but what we do have is research, and through research we have found that it is possible that life exists on other planets, if the condition is right, such as if there is food and water, or the air is breathable with the right amount of oxygen or nitrogen, or there is an ecosystem similar to ours that exists of fauna and flora. And with how old the universe is, we can make educated guesses that these creatures belong to a civilization that is probably thousands of years old, maybe even older than ours, and over time they have built technology that has bumped them up in superiority. Look at the way they are able to move when they are sighted. Many people have said that they are able to disappear at great speeds to vanish. That can only be done if you have greater technology that is far superior than ours. Why did they come to Earth? Again, it's all speculation from here onwards. One reason may be that they are colonizers and that they are researching how best to colonize Earth. Another reason could be that we are lab rats and they are researching our behavior, the way we live, interact, and socialize for research purposes. There are also stories of alien abductions, so it's not far-fetched to think we could be lab rats for them to observe. There are a long number of reasons why they are here, because there is no definitive answer to that question. It's all speculation at this point. I mean, there are even theories by conspiracy theorists that the government is in on this, and that they are in close contact with the aliens, for whatever reasons this may be. Heck, there were even rumors of Saddam Hussein being in contact with aliens, and that was the whole reason for why the U.S. invaded Iraq. So some of these theories can get complex and wild. That's the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Whether it's jinns or aliens, comment in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.